And so focusing on private label and essentials would be the way to go. We're thinking about really about the margin advantages as a second pillar, and asking yourself, is there a minimum of 10 to 15 points margin gap compared to your branded product options? After factoring in tariffs, duty rates, and freight buffers, but also looking at your operational costs. Not every retailer can handle operationally a private label from day one. It sometimes takes a really looking at under microscope into your processes and seeing whether you have the systems, whether you have the automations, whether you have the resources and staff to be able to support it in the optimal way so that it does not cost you and bleed you more money at the end of the day. The other thing is really thinking about the fit, and the fit is really the key in for the customer to be able to return and be able to buy your brand and your private label. Really thinking about, can you really create the perpetually fit or size experience that really makes the switching to your brand meaningful. Thinking about, what is all of the products that we carry from our branded partners, and really try to find out how does the customer respond to that fit, and finding the opportunities to improve that fit and creating your own fit for the private label that will stay consistent and that would really true to fit to your customer. And again, going back to understanding not just what's happening in the market, but really understanding your customer, and not just their preferences, but as well as their size and shapes. And where's the majority of the customer really sits. And every brand is different. There's no brand that has a fit alike. We often underlook that and they try to make everybody kind of following a standard fit measurements. And that is where we start to see the pitfalls, because unfortunately, our demographics are not the same. And also depending on your spread of demographic, whether you have majority of your customer coming from West Coast and East Coast versus from Midwest, it's going to be very different curves, very different size ratios that you potentially might want to look at. And really thinking also about the fourth pillar as a customer blind spot. Are you really solving the pain point of the current branded assortment that ignores, like modesty, comfort, inclusive sizing, as an example? Maybe you have an opportunity to integrate where you actually able to have, with the new technology, have your customer scan their body with a phone and get their exact size matching that will match to your private label product, and actually be able to give them a true recommendation of what size that they will fit the best to them. I mean, thinking about really outside of the box, that what can you bring with your private label that your branded products do not do. And that's what's going to help us just to win this and be successful. Really, let's tie this back a little bit about to what we're seeing in the market as well. For one US specialty chain, we added it their women's bottoms category. And they were investing heavily in the branded cargo pants. But margins after duty and logistics were really under 52%, very thin, not enough to sustain profitably private label initiatives, right? We built a three style private label capsules with flexible waistband, improved fabric and stretch, and we also improved the fit to make sure that it really responds to the comments we've been receiving during the return product. And we able to work out a 70% margin. And that was a game changer for this brand. Within 90 days, it really became their top performing bottom category by revenue and the square foot.